Hello everybody, this is Terry Jeanette with Be Creative, and today I'm going to be digging through these rocks for our project. So in front of our house we have two little areas, this one and that disaster one. Obviously this one needs to be cleared out, but I would like to put a fairy garden in one of these, possibly both. Right now we've got little flowers planted there. They look really nice. This one though, we're going to start out by cleaning it out, and then my first fairy garden will be in this planter. And today we're actually going to try to make a little fairy pond. Here are my rocks. I may need more, I may need less, I'm not really for sure, but I do know I need to clean them out. I also need a glue gun and glue, some acrylic paint. I'm going to use blue, and I'm going to use white because I'm going to try to make the color of water with these. This is a little too dark, so I'm going to add a little white to it to lighten it up. I need some plastic. I'm not for sure if this is going to work, but we'll try it. It's just an old Ziploc bag. And you need a paintbrush too. I'm just letting these rocks soak, and I'm going to clean them up in a little bit. I'm just going to set those aside, but right now I'm going to take my hot glue gun. It's heating up right now, but I'm going to make a circle about the shape of like what I want my pond to be like. And hopefully it's not going to melt this plastic. So I'm going to make the circle and fill it in. I have my circle. I don't know if you can tell, and it's not real pretty, but that's okay. You're not going to see the ugliness of it. Now I'm going to just try to fill it in. All right, it looks really messy, but I think it's going to be okay. Water has movement, and I think all this messiness, once I get it painted and all, it's going to make it look like there's some movement in the water. At least let's keep our fingers crossed on that. The rocks all cleaned off. I'm glad the green stained because I kind of want that feeling. All right, what's next? By the way, I'm kind of doing this on the fly, so if it's a flop, we'll just try again another video. But keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully it won't be a flop. I have a little tip for you. This was on a light surface, and so I really couldn't see what I was doing. Now that I got it on a darker surface, I can see that there's a lot of holes in there, so I'm going to go back and put some more glue in all those holes. By the way, so far I've used 2 sticks of glue. All right, so I'm mixing up my paint. This is what I came up with. I'll show it to you when I get it painted. So I have it all painted. I may do another coat, or I might try to make it look like it's got little white caps on some of those, quote, waves. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I'm going to let it dry for about 20 minutes, and then we'll see what it looks like. To hurry the drying process, I'm using my blow dryer. This is what I'm going to do with the rocks. It looks like I need a few more, so I'm going to go get some more, wash them off. A few more, and I got a couple of big rocks. I'm going to try something. I don't know if it's going to work, but let me put these around the pond and see what we have. I think this is how I want them to sit. This still needs to dry a little bit. I like that big rock there. Kind of gives a place for the fairies to sit. Right, I have the rocks all glued on there. Got a little bit of paint on one of them, but you know what? We can set another rock or maybe a fairy on top of it. Oh, got another paint on it. So now I'm going to let this dry. One thing though, while doing this, these rocks are cold, and so when you use hot glue on a cold thing, the glue cools off really quick. So you have to be fast. Hopefully this is going to work. I went ahead and trimmed the excess plastic off. I'm kind of afraid to pick this up. I hope it doesn't fall apart. So that in mind, I went and dug around in some of my stash that I was getting ready to donate. And I came across this container here, and I think I might put this pond inside there for better stability. And did that, and honestly, it wasn't as floppy as I thought it was going to be. I'm going to let this dry a little bit longer. Paint is still wet. I put quite a bit on there. And the next step, what I'm supposed to do, is take hot glue and put it in there. But I'll be honest with you, My hot glue gun is not a real hot glue, and I think the reason I've got it that it's kind of bumpy like that is because the glue is not extremely hot, and so it didn't really melt and blend out and smooth out, which is okay, but it's not going to work, I don't think, to go over that. Maybe it will, or maybe I could just use Mod Podge or something like that. I just want it to look wet, you know, give it that shiny wet look. So again, I'm going to let this dry probably another couple hours before I go on. By the way, this right here, all these, I found these little flowers in my silk flower stash that I might glue on there and maybe add some beads or something. So I believe this is finally dry. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back with the hot glue gun and I'm going to kind of glue around there just to make these rocks more solid. And I may do some more gluing. I don't know. I haven't decided about this yet, but I definitely need to put something on here. Whoops, it is still not dry. I don't know why it's not drying. It is humid here in Louisiana, but it's been hours. I'm going to try Mod Podge, specifically the gloss. Just FYI, this is an old bottle and the top was stuck really bad. And I found out that if you turn it upside down and you pound it on a flat surface, a sturdy flat surface, it breaks that seal there, and we were able to open it up. All right, now I'm going to just pour some of that in here, and it's probably going to take a very long time to dry. All right, I poured the Mod Podge in there and kind of swept it around with a paintbrush, and now it's going to dry. By the way, I did experiment a little bit with those little purple flowers. I'll probably put a little black bead or maybe a yellow bead in the middle or something, but right now this is going to have to dry, and it is, let's see, what time is it? It is 4:47, and I'm just going to let it dry overnight. Hopefully it'll be dry in the morning. All right, I pretty much have this done. I'm sure I'm going to be adding more to it once I start my fairy garden with my grands. A fun little experiment. The next time I do this, though, I'm going to do the glue a little different. Instead of going back and forth, I think I'm going to do it in a spiral. That way it will look like somebody dropped maybe something in the water and it's a ripple instead of back and forth. But this will work for now. Thanks for joining me. I'll have a great day. This is Terry Jeanette with Be Creative signing out for now. Bye-bye.